I want to become a millionaire with a six-pack in 1,234 days. And right now, I am at day 71. Today, I want to talk about how I plan to make some money. The reason is quite simple. When I talk to friends or family members, the question most asked is, how do you plan to make a million? Rightfully so, I guess. After all, getting a six-pack is supposed to be easy. Little did you know that there are more people in the world who are millionaires than people who have a six-pack. What, really? That's not true, I just made that up. Nonetheless, making a million out of thin air is quite tough. So I made a curve to show you what my plan is on how to really achieve 1 million euro in 1,234 days.
He said it! He said it!
So here we are at day number 1, and I built this beautiful little graph here out of all the Dragon Ball comics. I knew I could use them at one point. So this is for the six-pack. And as you can see, already the curve is pretty much going up in the very beginning all the way up to day 1,234, because I believe I can get a six-pack quite quickly, hopefully in the next year already, all right? And now I will show you my plan on how to make a million. Ah, tricky, huh? Yeah. This is exactly how I plan to get a million. It will take a while, of course, for a lot of reasons. So the main idea is, of course, to get a six-pack in another 200 days from now. I think I can manage if I just keep it up. I know the technique, I know how everything works, I just have to be strong. Well, that's of course the main problem, because I'm still the loser guy who's 45 years old.
You're still a failure!
Nonetheless, the million, that's the whole other story. It will only get momentum at the very end of this long journey. I would say around day 900 or 1000 maybe even. How is that possible? Well, nobody knows me and nobody gives a about me, obviously, except you maybe, thank you. But if I keep on embracing in this journey, trying to get the six-pack, try to make a little bit money here and there, and then at day 800, I finally have this video where somebody goes like,
wait a second, what?
Okay, this guy, maybe he's up to something. Oh, he has a little bit of money. Oh, he has a six-pack. That is interesting. I have to tell my friends. Well, that would be the ideal outcome, of course, on how to gain true fans like you. A couple of people who are watching the videos and who are subscribed to my channel. Thank you for that. But that takes time, and I still have to continue to make as much entertaining videos as possible for you.
Are you not entertained?
So I can get the YouTube partnership, hopefully around the end of this year. And then I can also sell my artistic features like the t-shirts or the ceramics or my chess courses or whatever is coming up there. Maybe a board game, that would be cool. And for this, I need to just grind so you can trust me. And you can see maybe there is something to really grinding through for 4 years and a bit more. So that's the ideal story. And once I have gained a little bit more money, I think the rest can plummet quite quickly if I do it right and if I put on a lot of effort. Yeah, that's the whole plan. So now you know. By the way, what happened today? Well, nothing much, because the flu attacked my tonsils. I was just suffering, staying home and feeling terrible. Day 72. Oh, righty. I felt a titsy tiny bit better today, so there was still hope that a dream might come true. Meeting Magnus. Today and tomorrow I am invited to film and maybe even interview some chess masters who play in the Chess Bundesliga. But it is still a tiny dream because I have this sickness, which is like coming and going and coming and going and coming and going. That's so annoying. So there was nothing much to do else than just stay home, rest, and get well. So at least I have a chance to see Magnus tomorrow. Day 73.
And you failed.
Yeah, I still feel bad, but not as bad as yesterday. So resting was very helpful. And you know what that means. Off to Mr. Carlsen. A little fun background story. Maybe you don't know why Magnus Carlsen is actually playing in the Chess Bundesliga again. The last time he played more than 10 years ago. The chess club of St. Pauli managed to go into the first league last year. And that was actually a big surprise because there were a couple of teams which were stronger than them, but they managed. So that was the very, very first time ever that St. Pauli managed to be in the Bundesliga. There's one person, his name is Jan-Henrik Büttner, and he is the one who made the freestyle Weissenhaus chess last year. He is an investor, he is a manager, and he has a good contact with Magnus Carlsen. And he also thought like, well, St. Pauli, that's actually a very traditional, very interesting club with all its history. There's a lot of cool things about St. Pauli. I mean, the flag of St. Pauli is the Jolly Roger, after all. Jan-Henrik Büttner and St. Pauli came into contact and they said like, hey, how about you want to sponsor our team? Because we're going into the first Bundesliga and we're going right down again because everybody will beat the shit out of us actually. And Jan-Henrik Büttner said, well, let me talk to my dear friend Magnus. And Magnus said, you know what, St. Pauli, cool club, I will play and I will bring my Vikings with me. By Vikings, there's a couple of Scandinavian players who are also really good, and now St. Pauli has the best chess player in the world in their team, which was absolutely amazing. And the press in Germany went mental. It was in every kind of news site you can imagine. Magnus is playing in the Bundesliga, the people are going crazy, and you won't believe it, the tickets for this event were up to 150 euro, and there was only a limited amount of people who were able to visit after all. And one of them was me, because of course I work for a chess company and I was able to record a couple of nice videos to catch the vibe. And here I am, actually so close to Magnus while he's analyzing a game that was quite a special moment. I will meet him again probably in a couple of weeks from now, but this was the very first contact I finally had with him. And I also saw my dear friend Surya Ganguly, who is also playing for the Bundesliga in a different team, but more about him later. So here I was listening to Magnus' analysis for quite some time. The background actually looks like a bathroom, and many people mentioned that, but it is actually a very fancy Brahms Kontorhaus. Later that day there was a meet and greet at the stadium area, and Magnus was kind enough to show up for 3 to 4 minutes. Honestly, I just thought like, you go Magnus. I cannot believe how much stress he must have all the time, non-stop, giving interviews, signing books and boards and whatever is there, and just be in the spotlight non-stop. Day 74.
I'm happy.
And there we have it. Today, I feel really, really terrible again. And this is actually really bad because, as I mentioned earlier, there's a couple of friends from India who are playing in the Chess Bundesliga and who are visiting our chess-based company. But now I cannot see them because I'm sick. No! 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 I actually wanted to invite them to our place, cook for them, play some board games, and we also wanted to visit an escape room. So I was just hoping if I feel bad today, maybe I feel good again tomorrow, so I booked the escape room. It's at the Cup San Diego. How cool is that location? And it has exceptionally good ratings too. But the price for each person is ridiculously high in my opinion. 35 euro. What the heck? What is happening? Are we getting a massage and some food as well? I hope so. But first, I need to get better again. Day 75.
Yeah!
I feel okay-ish and there's just no other way. I need to see them again. I need to see them again! Surya and Leon were both recording videos, chess lessons and more for the company. So when I wanted to pick them up in the late afternoon, Surya was still busy. It was time to play a couple of chess games against a chess player who is in the top 100 right now. I played with 5 minutes while he had 30 seconds. 30 seconds! It felt like I was playing tennis with prime Roger Federer and he had to hold the tennis racket with his mouth. Leon still won. He wiped the floor with me. At least when Surya was done, after a hard day of work, I was able to beat him once. Surya was one of India's best players. So finally we had some food, and after food we went to the Cap San Diego and I met up with 2 more of my very dear friends. And it was a horror scenario I chose. Everything else was booked out. So the rooms were fun, the riddles were good, and we solved everything in less than an hour, but I wasn't very satisfied, to be honest. Nonetheless, I had a very, very good time with good friends. Day 76. Today I felt a little more sick again. When will this ever stop? Please, it won't stop. I want to go to the gym. I stayed home the whole day, worked a little, and just tried to recover. There was one funny story about the escape room, by the way. When I messaged my dear friend Yoshi, I said, it's going to be expensive though, it's 35 euro. And he said like, oh well, yeah, you know, inflation. He was very empathetic. The day later, I was asking, can everybody pay me the 35 euro? And I checked my PayPal account and it was 7 euro. And I thought like, oh. No, it's not 7 euro for each person, altogether 5 person, that's 35 euro. It's 35 euro for each person. So I messaged him back and said like, sorry, but there's 28 euro missing. And then he was like, oh my god, that is really expensive. Because after we finished the escape room, I was still ranting about how expensive it was. And he probably thought like all the time, like, it's like 7 euro? I know that you have this challenge and you're trying to save some money, but like, relax, 7 euro is not that much. Day 77.
Impressive!
All right, now I'm really curious how my sales are going. Redbubble. That's not much. Okay, what about my chess videos? Oh, nothing moved there in a while, actually. Maybe the ceramics? Same. Strange. Where's my millions? I'm joking, of course, but this was just a tiny little reminder that there's things existing on this channel which are for sale. So if you want a t-shirt, ceramics, or a chess course, you're free to check the links in the description. I really don't want to plug that much, and you probably noticed already that I rarely even ever mention, please give me a like or subscribe and go to my channel, I'm so cool here. Talking about this, a milestone is very close. 500 subscribers, but the watch time is still missing by a lot. We are not even at a meagerly 10% for now. Ouch. Well, what to expect if I am publishing one video every 14 days after all, right? I'm trying. It will get there. Also, a lot of people mention like, why don't you do Instagram? Why don't you make shorts? Why don't you go on TikTok? And I don't know, maybe yes, maybe I have the right audience for this, because it seems, according to this statistics, that my audience is quite young after all. I'll keep it in mind, but for now I don't plan to. I'm just staying with YouTube. Most of my audience is watching from the US and the UK. Thank you. On place 3 is Germany, Netherlands, and then Sweden. Why Sweden? And only 38 Indians watch my videos? I'm spending time with Indians non-stop. As you can see, they're good friends of mine. I love them. Come on, tell your friends, show them this channel maybe. One last thing before we move over to the next day. I made like around 10 videos so far, and I imagine there's one person from France, one from Lithuania, one from New Zealand, and one from Turkey who enjoy my content and watched all the videos. If that is the case, shout out to you and thank you very much. Day 78.
Fine.
I just spoke about Indians, and today I'm meeting Surya Ganguly again. It is his last day at the chess base office, and we wanted to make something special. We're meeting the Hamburg bunker. Because it is a very newly refurbished building, the New York Times mentioned Hamburg to be one of the 52 places to visit in 2025. It once was a flak tower bunker and built during World War II. So right after the World War, the Allied forces were urging to destroy the bunkers as soon as possible. They managed to destroy one bunker in the Tiergarten area, but it had to be bombed 3 times. Once with 12 tons of dynamite, then with double the amount, and then after it still didn't fall apart, they used almost triple the amount. And when you look at these buildings, back then they looked scary. gray and ugly as hell, my goodness. Meanwhile, all the remaining bunkers look a bit more green, especially the one in the heart of Hamburg is very green now. It's a hotel, it has restaurants and bars, and on the very top it is a park. It also has a lot of sustainable plants, crops, and more on top. So the restaurants are using the herbs and everything from the bunker rooftop. How cool is that? So that's where I took Surya to. Walking the stairs all around the bunker is fun, but sadly it was a cold, dark, and massively foggy day, so the view was basically not existing. But it felt surreal and spooky, and it was a lot of fun. Before we went up to the bunker, we were eating at a vegan restaurant, and we had a philosophical talk for at least 2 hours. Day 79. It's the weekend and I'm finally feeling better. Thank you. My gosh, that flew. Never again. So going to the gym on Monday is set in stone. This day also remarks the end of the Dragon Ball comics. And honestly, finally, my gosh, the last 30 books were very tedious and not that fun anymore. It was quite easy to forgive the inconsistencies of the first 10 books because you could really notice that Akira Toriyama, he was drawing and just made this story up while he was drawing. This is so beautiful. I love that. I did the same thing as a child for making up stories or games or something like this. And I still use this kind of technique to play role-play games with my brother and his friends every couple of weeks or months, where I'm just making up things from the top of my head. And it always works fine. I think I'm quite good with that. I just didn't figure out how to monetize that talent now. Nonetheless, I'm still a big Dragon Ball fan, of course. I have to tell a tiny little anecdote. When I was 15 years old, I played in a chess club and I had a club tournament and I needed to play against a very good club player, which was noticeably very arrogant. And he took it to a next level because he said, hey, to save some time, I'll play this tournament against you and my next opponent because next week I don't have time. Oh, that's normally not possible. So he played simultaneously a chess match against us and I lost like heavily very, very quickly. So what does that have to do with Dragon Ball? Well, a couple of years later, I discovered Dragon Ball and I was on my way to a league game for my chess club. I wanted to take the train and then I went to the kiosk first and I bought like 5 Dragon Ball books, which I wanted to read. And I read a couple of them in the train, and then at the venue, who was I facing? Well, the arrogant player, of course. But I thought like, hey, you know what? I'm enjoying Dragon Ball so much, so I was reading the Dragon Ball comics all the time while playing, reading and reading and reading. And then he made a move, and I was looking over, I made a move, wrote it down, and I was back on my Dragon Ball comics. Well, long story short, I beat him in less than 20 moves and he was absolutely rattled. He said like,
dude, you're a genius, your talent, that's amazing, well played.
And then I sat somewhere else and ended my Dragon Ball comics. That was not very nice, very disrespectful. Yeah, that's my Dragon Ball story, and that's a story I will never forget, which also is part of Dragon Ball. Anyway, blah, blah, blah. I completed the challenge. Woohoo! Day 80. 80 days in! It took Phileas Fogg 80 days to travel around the world. And I hardly lost weight, and I'm not very rich yet. Actually, I'm losing money. Yeah, it's payday. My editor needs to earn some money too, and he's doing a good job, so 450 euro for you, my friend. And this stupid DJI Osmo Pocket 3 is not getting cheaper. It's just staying stable, 680 euro. I'm still hesitating to buy it. It would be very helpful. But hey, you know what? That's how it is. There is progress. It's tiny.
That's what she said.
And I really hope I can get this curve, the Dragon Ball curve, a little bit more up in the next 10 days. Dragon Ball curve. I like that. We will see each other soon again.